Okay, so now that we have our tables working, let's add the update and remove action. So let's go back here and we'll create two new actions. We'll create one called add ABI action, and then this will be void. We'll do update, and then this will look exactly like this because we need to have all the same information to update all the information. And then we'll do another one down here, add ABI action, and then this one we'll call void remove. And now for here, all we gotta really know is the account name because we don't need to know the rest of the information. And then go down here and we'll add update, and then we'll add remove. All right. And I just copy these down here. Pull them over. Delete this. And delete this. All right. So now let's work on update. So what we got to do here with update is the same spiel for the most part. We require auth of the account, and then we got to go ahead. We got to create our profile container. So profiles, and the same thing here again. Self, and then same thing. Well, now we want to make sure an account does exist to update it. So this time, if we get to the end, the count doesn't exist. So we want to make sure we don't get to the end. So we'll use a default lookup again. We'll do profile dot find an account, and this time we want to find that account. So we'll store that again to auto iterator. And this time we really want to make sure that the iterator actually does not get to the end. Because if it does, then that means that the account does not have a profile. Wrap that over. EOSIO assert. All right, looking good. So now if you get down here, the account does exist and we want to modify it. So what we want to do here is we want to do now profile dot or profiles dot modify. And now when we modify this, we have to pass it the iterator to pointing at the element that we want to modify. And then we have to go ahead and then again say who's going to be paying for the RAM for this storage. And again, this is still going, we're still going to give it to the account. Now we could give it to the, we could give it 0 here, and that will basically mean that the that new app 1 will be paying for the storage of everyone. But instead of, you know, making new app 1 pay for everyone when they log or when they create a profile, we'll just make the account for simplicity. So in our case, that we'll use account. And then same thing, we get to add another Lambda function. So take in all the variables in the scope by reference, do a new profile table type, call it P, and this will be the updated one. And same spiel again. You can just go P dot, well, this time we don't want to modify the account name because that should be the same, but we'll do username equals username equals username, and then P dot bio equals the new bio, P dot age equals the new age. And we should all be all set with that. Now, yeah, now we can go down here and we can say print the same thing again, name, we'll say account modified. And two things we forgot. This is going to be spelled correctly, and then this one needs to be in the scope of the new app 1. Same with this. New app 1. So now let's actually let's make sure this works. One last typo, and now let's make sure this works. All right, so now let's get rid of this. So now let's see, where were we at? We were EOS. Well, let's see our table. So we do get table, new app 1, new app 1, profiles. All right, so we have Alice. So let's see if we can update Alice's profile. So we'll do EOS push action new app 1 update. We'll go to Alice. We'll keep this. Let's say whatever bio, can make a different bio. Let's say the age changed now to 50, and give this one Alice's transaction. All right, nice. Now we can go back and we can look at the table, and we can see that in fact we do have a different bio and a new age. So good, the update worked. All right, so now going on to remove here. So for remove, again, same thing. We don't want other people removing your profile for your account, so we require auth account. Now let's see. Okay, so we don't want the profile to not exist, because if your profile or if your account doesn't have a profile, then obviously you cannot remove it. So we'll do the same thing over here. We want to say if you don't have a profile, assert out of here. But if you do have a profile, then it's actually quite simple to remove it. We'll just go over here and say profile dot erase, and then we'll give it the iterator that's pointing to the element that we want it to erase, and then we can just say print name account profile removed, and that should do it. Let's see, we have this over here, right? Okay, remove. No typos this time. Send it off. All right, so let's see, we can do EOS get table new app 1, new app 1, and profiles. Now let's get rid of Alice, so we'll do EOS push action new app 1 remove, and we want to remove Alice, so all we got to do is give it her name. And again, we'll make sure, like, Bob can't do this. You need to have Alice's authority. So Alice profile removed, we go up and do get table, and there's nothing there. All right, and the last thing I'll show you is just if you want to print out the information for a specific profile without grabbing the information for everyone, you could go in here and we could create another action, call it @API action, and we'll say void. We'll call this get, even though it's not really getting it, it's just kind of printing it out, and we'll just take account name. That's all we need. Then add it in down here. And then go over to this file and create a void new app one get just takes constant account name. Now for this, I don't really care who signs off on it. I just want to make sure that this account exists and that I can access it. So let's grab this. And if this account does exist, then we'll just go ahead and print it out. So we'll go print account. And now to access this one, all we got to do is do the name again, and it's iterator pointing to account. And then add in comma, print, and then we'll do username. And this time we'll do iterator pointing to username, and then change this to .c string. And then we'll do print. What do we have? Bio. Let's kind of go. Let's do this. Bio. Account name. And then same thing here. Iterator pointing to bio and making typos. So let's fix this. And .c string. And then finally print age, which we can just give it age, our iterator age. Nice. And then of course go ahead and suppress all these. And I'm just gonna clean it up slightly so it looks a little neater. All right, and then I can add a count up here and then push this one as well. Okay, so now if I do EOS push action to new app one, and I do get, and I say I want Alice's. Again, I don't care who signs off on this. Profile. Yeah, we deleted Alice's. Okay, so let's go and create another one. So we'll do EOS push action new app one create. Let's make one for Bob this time. And then we can go EOS push action new app one get, and then we'll go ahead, we'll get Bob's info. And again, doesn't matter who I am, to get Bob's info I can just return it. So there you go. So we have a couple actions on this contract, and we have the erasing elements from our profile, we have modifying elements of our profile, and then of course we have creating new elements of our profile. So now you know how to create the basic structure of a smart contract in EOS, and you can go ahead and start creating your own.